Alright, enough bullshit. Yes, it's me again. I will come and go until I'm dead. So basically, what do I have for you today? First of all, where have I been? So, I live in Whistler now. So, Whistler is a ski resort that is located in the mountains in British Columbia. And I work in, I'll just say, human resources. I have a pretty good job here, a pretty good life. I have a nice housing situation right now, for now. So yeah, pretty comfortable. But what I have for you guys today is this. This is gonna be my unboxing and first impressions of this. The Apple Watch Ultra, as you can see over here. So I did already open it. I was too excited to wait. Sorry. But I did the best repackaging I could. It was pretty difficult. So yeah, hopefully today I'll give you the lowdown of what it's like and everything that comes inside. I still have all of it. There was no Apple sticker, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah. Either way, so this thing cost $1,099 Canadian dollars. The price is over here. So I did not buy this at the Apple store this time, actually. I picked this up at Simply Computing, which is a local Apple reseller where I worked at for a while. So if you're in Vancouver and you need Apple stuff, head on over to Simply. They'll get you sorted. As for this is the 49mm case size. There's only one size with the medium Alpine loop. I wanted to get the Ocean Band, to be honest, because I don't really know how this Alpine loop is going to fit, to be honest. I am quite concerned, to say the least, about the fit. I feel like it's going to fall off. It doesn't look as secure as the Sport Band, and I've never had issues with the Sport Band falling off my wrist. This is what I'm switching from. This is the Series 3. And yeah, let's get into this. So I don't have a tripod anymore because I'm actually not living in a very big setup. This is currently my room. That's my bed. This is the unoccupied second bed I'm sitting on. That's all my crap over there. My suitcases and boxes full of stuff. Snowboards in the bag. The other one is also mine. Skateboard on the wall and stuff. That's basically my entire desk setup. My computer's in the corner there. Yeah. This is my air conditioner I've got set up, but not terrifically big in space over here in this staff accommodation, but compared to other people who have bunk rooms, I have it pretty good, so I can't really complain. Other than that, back to the crux, I guess. To open it, like the new Apple Watches, you got to open these paper folds to reveal two separate boxes. Now the reason they package it like this actually is because that way, ever since the Series 4 or 5 I believe, people could customize what strap they wanted to receive in the box instead of a preset one from Apple. And also it's easier on the assembly line, that way they don't have to manufacture and like package and ship different iterations of watches and straps and such, and just bundle them in the shop essentially, which I think is pretty smart. That being said, unlike the regular Apple boxes, the paper to this external wrap, I should mention, it has like almost a coarse texture to it, almost like a degree or I guess a university acceptance kind of feel, something like that. But yeah, not something I would actually have expected Apple to go for, but I guess they did. Either way, moving on. Opening this up, we are greeted with stay down. There. We are greeted with this little brochure, which I think was actually pretty neat. This was kind of reminiscent of like the Apple Watch Edition, which came with like a whole pamphlet outlining how it is manufactured. But yeah, these are the three options over here, which I found kind of comedic that they just displayed right up front, like Pokemon, you know, you gotta collect them all. And then these is basically like useful information like about how to change out the straps, how to attach them, how to use the side button, then pairing the watch, charging it, that's a big one. Some more information about the product, specifically because this is the highest end watch and like the most rugged one they made. That's kind of outlining all of the safety features, all of the outdoor elements that explorers and athletes and divers would find appealing for this watch, which is kind of the target market, I suppose. They're trying to compete with Garmin with this new watch face as well, and backtracking, GPS features. That was pretty cool. Nice to check out. But now, back to the watch. So I already did open it, as I mentioned, but I did spare one to give you guys the peel. Backing it up though to the watch itself. Opening it up, we are greeted with the watch, which is usually wrapped up in a little baggie, but this is what usually houses the Apple Watch charger. Now what's cool about the charger that came with the watch is that it's actually braided. So I took it out, yes, of course. So you got the metal head like you did on the higher end Apple Watch and Apple Watch Edition back in the day, and you also get a USB Type-C head there. The cable is braided, so like it feels very high quality, very robust. There's no rubber end at the head over here, so yeah, feels nice and solid. There's a matte finish to the puck as well this time. Usually there's like a glossy finish. As you see when I hold them up to the light, the new Ultra charger has a clear matte finish that does not get reflected very much, whereas the original, this is my Series 3 charger over here, this one has a glossy finish, and you can see they a bit scratched up, and is well glossy and also made of plastic. This was the budget charger, I suppose. But as for this, I'm supposing the matte finish is going to prevent scratches like this from showing and stains from forming, and it's just going to last longer, I suppose. I don't know if it has anything to do with the conductivity of the electricity or something, but who knows. That is interesting to think about, though. But moving on to the watch itself, the box says designed by Apple in California, along with the GPS coordinates, and the watch itself is much larger than the Series 3, substantially so. It's actually a little bit jarring how big it is at first. Like, this is what it's compared to, even with the case that I have, the Spigen case. It's actually about the same. I've always worn a bigger watch. Even before I had an Apple Watch, I had a pretty large G-Shock that looks like this, and that felt pretty big on my wrist as well. So I think I'm gonna get used to this pretty fine. But what I am concerned about to some regard is the strap. More on that in a second. So for size sake, that is about the size comparison of the two. The crown on the Series 3 is noticeably smaller than it is in the Ultra, and also the body is also a lot more square shaped versus the rounded appearance on the Ultra. Then a larger speaker array, as we can see, with the bigger microphone, 2 mics actually versus 1 if I recall correctly. Hoping that this thing is going to be a big step up. Let's just take a look at the watch itself. So they've got this raised edge over here around the glass, so that A, houses the antenna, and B, also protects the glass from like side impacts and things like that that have actually plagued my watch. As for that, there is the action button on the side over here, along with the larger microphone and speaker array. That's for programmable actions such as starting a stopwatch, siren potentially. If you get lost, you can hold it down and trigger it. Then on the side, you've got the bigger digital crown intended for use with gloves, and this metal bumper around the side also protects the crown itself from side impacts that could break off the crown. I have heard horror stories of that happening, so this makes it less likely. Then the side button is still there. I'm hoping I don't push this by accident, because that was a bit of a problem on the Series 3, to be honest. On the back over here, we have, like any Apple Watch, we've got a description of the watch itself with the size, the casing material, the display material, and the basic features of the watch, so GPS and LTE, along with the water resistance and the dive certification. So also in the middle here, as you can see, is this new fourth or third generation heart sensor that is supposed to be superior to any Apple Watch before. And in this metal Pokeball shaped ring around that sensor is, I believe, the node for the ECG capability. And for the sake of completeness, here's the back. This is the original Generation 1 heart sensor, I believe, and I was right, this is the third generation. So yeah, big change, big improvement. And yeah, that is basically the watch itself. There are also the two rails for the straps, and I guess we'll take a look at the strap now. So the strap came packaged in a box like this. This is the Alpine Loop. Again, with that hook, it does not look terrifically secure. I don't know how I feel about this, to be wholly honest, but I guess we're just gonna have to see how it goes. But either way, it opens up like this. I did it the right side up. This is a description on how to attach the watch to the strap and how to attach the strap to your wrist, I suppose. We get in here a little bit of legal information and such, then also the strap itself in this paper sleeve. This is the same material as the outside wrapping of the Apple Watch. I did open it again, as I mentioned. I did the best repackaging I could. This was really, really hard to put back in, so sorry. We can just rip this out like so. Attaching them is fairly straightforward. You simply line up the watch with the rail over here. This side loops around, connects. So putting on the watch is fairly straightforward. I'm clamping my phone in between my knees. This is really a two-handed job. You gotta like loosen this up a bit, slide the watch on, and putting it on is actually very awkward, as you can see over here between my legs. I have to slide it on, and like even as I'm pulling it to tighten it, it's like kind of pulling the watch in like a zigzag way, if you can see. So like it doesn't sit very well on my wrist, and like even once I have adjusted it grudgingly, like there's no real perfect loop as such. I'd like it to be somewhere here, but if I slide it in over here, first of all, that itself is a massive hassle with one hand. Come on. You're almost there. Like, I feel like that's gonna tear eventually. That doesn't look 100% secure. I feel like it's gonna fall off, to be completely honest. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. But given the waterproofing features of this watch and such, it is a bit surprising that they decided to go with a nylon or something. I would have probably gone with like an elastomer, maybe something reminiscent to their Solo Loop, just because when something like nylon gets wet, it takes forever to dry, and then like even in like a work setting, like let's say you wash your hands after using the bathroom and your watch strap gets wet, you're going to be dealing with the wet watch strap for the rest of the day, wetting your sleeve. It's just a nuisance. I feel like something like an elastomer is just better in that sense, but hey, it might feel good for some other people, because that was a problem I had with the woven strap. Other than that, the bigger watch is definitely much brighter. They advertise it to be the brightest watch screen they've ever made, so yeah. Any new watch faces? Let's take a look at that. Okay, maybe it'll be in here, because I was looking on the app Wayfinder. This appears to be different than the other one that I saw. Alright, I figured it out. So this is what it looks like. So when the watch is, well, I guess off, with the always on display, that's what that new Wayfinder face would look like. And when I bring on the watch, hopefully it should illuminate. Please do. Come on, help me out, brother. Yes. So it brings it up to life. You can see the compass in the center. And yeah, that's basically what the new watch looks like. And by turning the crown, it goes red. And this is like a new dark mode, I guess, exclusive for this watch face. So like if you're in like a low light condition, this helps you look at the time and all of your information without getting blinded by the light at night, I guess, which could be useful. And yeah, that basically concludes, I guess, the unboxing. Now I guess I'll just go over my like impressions of this thing, I guess. I still think that strap is a bit cumbersome, and I'm probably just going to end up reverting to my sport band, just because I've never had this thing fall off. It's still been a pretty robust strap, and I don't really know about this orange thing, so I might just stick with this comfortable strap. Other than that, the watch itself is really nice. I really like how robust it is. It seems like it's going to be a lot better for some of the things I do, like snowboarding and mountain biking. And also, that's part of why I bought it. The multi-day battery is pretty appealing to me. Also, the GPS features such as backtracking and precise positioning. I want to get into backcountry snowboarding this year, so if I get lost in the backcountry, being able to know where I am and backtrack from there and such is really useful. Also, having an emergency siren if I get stuck, if I'm in need of assistance. I feel like that's really going to be helpful in a bind. And all in all, I'm generally really excited about this new watch and all of the features. And so that is basically all I had for you today. Bye. Are you still taking a picture? It's coming out of my eyes.